Hey guys, welcome to another one of our reviews. I'm the Worm, and this is the Proton. Today we're doing another review of a tank that we did receive free of charge. This will not affect our review in any way, shape or form.
In Dingle, what we're doing today is the Davide Anyvape Glassomizer 2013 edition. Got this from Vapor Saints, eBay seller and Facebook seller. Nige is a lovely bloke. We'll link and so you can go and check out and have a word with him. So yeah, basically that's what it is, Davide Glassomizer. Obviously we're going to try this with the Aspire heads and that kind of rubbish going on in there, so awesome sauce, and yeah, it's just going to be good stuff. So what we're going to do a very quick close-up just to cover you a little show about, and then we'll have a vape, and then let you know what we think. Right guys, a little close-up of the Davide Anyvape Glassomizer. Okay, new 2013 at Nige sent down to us, so just a very quick close-up. I want to point out this isn't brand spanking new, but I've reboxed it to show you what you'll get. Very simple stuff, obviously a description of what's in the box here, and then you can see the Glassomizer there. I do want to point out that you will not receive that in the box. That is here for demonstrational purposes. Nige sent that down to us, which is very nice of him. First of all, you get an ego cone. It's fairly familiar stuff, guys. We're used to this, and you'll get a spare head. Notice the head, guys, Aspire heads here, which is kind of good stuff and bad stuff at the same time, depending on what your preference is. I like them though. So there you go. You've got a spare set of O-rings, or a couple of sets of O-rings. There are actually 4 here. There's now 3 because I've used one, so that is what it is. But the spare O-rings, a big plus for that. So we'll remove that packet out of the way for now. As far as the tank goes, drip tip, fairly easy to grasp. Base section, you will see the size of that base section, explanation coming for that. And then you've got your centre tube, and then top cap and your glass section. This is frosted glass, or sort of a blackened glass. They're available in several colours though, which is awesome stuff. A couple of interesting footnotes. Basically, you've got your tank section here. It's fairly nice. Anyway, David written on it. Awesome stuff. 510 drip tip connection. Nothing hasn't fitted in there so far. Now here's your kind of interesting part. Obviously there's your Aspire head. In that goes, and that's a sealed tank there. Wicked. If you undo this though, and if you undo this, mainly because I'll need to, because I have no fingernails, if I then grab this, and typically it doesn't want to work for me, so I'll have to unscrew it. If I unscrew this little white plastic bit pops out. We put that to the side, screw her back in here, and screw that back on there, like so. And if we then try to undo this, try being the opposite words, because again, Dan never has any nails. There we go. Okay, what you've got here, this and this is what allows you to use your Aspire heads, using those 2 bits of the tank. If you remove them, remove the Aspire head itself, screw in a Pro Tank head, boom, there's your tank, and you're now on Pro Tank heads. So if you've got a preference of head, if you want a different kind of vape, if you want to go from dual to single coil, if you just have Pro Tank heads lying around and you've run out of Aspires, or vice versa, there's the option there to do that, and it takes 2 seconds to do. You just literally get your plastic bung and plonk that in the bottom there, and in this ring here, there you go. I have tried using this with a Pro Tank to see if I could use Aspire heads with this little bit and bob, and it works. So here you go. So it's kind of, you're getting 2 things for one. So if you've already got a Pro Tank, you can use this to get your Aspire heads, as well as use your Pro Tank heads in this, which is awesome stuff. I've had no issues with any of it. I mean, your 510, sorry guys, 510 air fed from the bottom, but you have got your air channels cut into the deck, so that you could flush mount it if you wanted to. As far as everything else goes, it's well fitted together. The O-rings, I had no problems. Like I said, I have used one of the O-rings. That wasn't for this tank. I was just recycling it. So that is what it is. The glass I found to be fairly hard wearing, no problems whatsoever. Obviously being glass, you've got no worries with juices and all that other kind of palaver, which is awesome stuff. The fact you can use any kind of head in this kind of category, because to be honest with you guys, I use EVOD heads in Pro Tanks, so I'd imagine EVOD heads can also be used in this. That's not confirmed though guys, that's just my guesstimisation. But having several head options is good, because the Pro Tanks heads offer a slightly cooler vape, a different kind of flavour, and it's just nice to have the option, so wicked stuff for that. Filling it is fairly easy stuff, no matter what head you're using. If you just undo it, I knew there was something I was going to show, undo it, screw it all back together, and then it's literally Pro Tank style, straight down the bottom. So I'll do that now very briefly. Just push straight in the side, give her a squeeze, 45 degrees, and we're full. That's as easy as that is. Chuck in your atomizer head, let it sit for 2 minutes, and you are away. It doesn't really get much easier than that, guys. Depending on what kind of head you're using is going to be dependent on what kind of resistances you're going to get, and also what voltages you're going to be using. 2 ohm at Spite head I can take really high, whereas 2 ohm Pro Tank head can't go as high. But that has been the close-up very quick, guys. I just wanted to show you the base and the head differences and the fact that you can change them. I think it's an awesome little feature, and definitely one that should be coming to more tanks, hopefully anyway. So yeah, we'll come back up to us now and have a nice little vape.
That was the up close of the Davide Tank Glassomizer from Vape. Sorry, I've only been on there once or twice. We've been dealing with him directly, so
it's Nige.
Yeah, that was up close. We've had a little play with it for about a couple of weeks now. We've tried basically just the Aspire heads in there, which we actually quite like. We've heard they was good. They didn't disappoint on what they performed on. They seem to be one of the best kind of replacement tank systems, like atomizers you can put into a tank at the moment, and that they don't kind of fail to live up to expectations. They're not a dripper, but they're not supposed to be. They're a Closeup or Glassomizer, if you were. So it is what it is.
Indeed. Price, guys, it's going to vary depending on where you go. If you choose to go through the eBay shop, it's going to be slightly more. Nigel said if you go directly to him on Facebook, either through Vape Tank's page, which is going to be linked down there, or through our page, he's on there. Nigel, he's well known, so you won't struggle to find him. He can do you a better deal, I'm guessing, because PayPal fees or because eBay listing fees are involved, and obviously if he hasn't got to do that, then it's cheaper for you, which is wicked stuff, and he has done some good deals for everyone on the group, which is even better. A few bits and bobs, obviously, as we showed in the close-up, you get the attachment ring to allow you to use Aspire heads, and that's what this comes with stock. That ring can also be taken out with the little plastic bit and used in a Pro Tank, so if you've got a Pro Tank too and you like the Aspire heads and you wanted to mix and match, you could then use this ring on that Pro Tank to swap them about if you wanted to. The price of this is around 12 quid, so that's a very, very good price. Nice stuff, lovely and cheap. It's all official gear as well, which is awesome. The tank glass, as Worm said, available in different colours, which is even better. I mean, this is kind of black with juice in it, it's basically clear, but you can see it's kind of dark compared to what it would be if it was just completely clear.
It's like a smoked effect, the dark one.
Yeah, it is more of a smoky kind of.
They're never truly black, they're just a smoked effect, and some sites list them as smoked, some sites list them as black, but they are just smoked.
There you go. So yeah, it's never going to be completely black. I was going to be see-through, therefore you won't be able to see anything. Living with it, I mean, when we first got it, and I should live with it, do you know what I mean? Use it, abuse it, let me know what you think, and obviously we'll do a review as we usually do after we've played around with it. First stuck it in, we stuck it in on a juice we were fairly familiar with. Obviously we've heard a lot of stuff about these Aspire heads, everyone's ranting and raving about them in different forms of their Closeup, yeah, we stuck it in. My expectations were at best it's going to be okay. Do you know what I mean? I know a lot of people have been like, yeah, but I never thought it was going to be close to Dripper, as other people have claimed. Personally, they are the best head out there for flavour in this form. Alright, so in this Closeup section, Glassomizer section, these are definitely the best head for flavour and vapour. It is very good, it's dual coil. This one's reading 2 ohms, as it should be. They've both been spot on actually with the ohm reading. You can push them hard. And compared to other Closeup devices, it definitely gives you a much closer vape to a dripper, but it's still miles from. if that makes any sense whatsoever. If you get a really good dripper, it's just in its own league, even RBA's.
It's the best replacement coil for that's out there on the market at the moment,
definitely,
basically.
Definitely.
And we can't sing its praises any more really than what we've already done. I mean, it's a good replacement system to be able to whack in and whack out a dual coil that actually works and works really well.
There you go.
It's easy money to spend. It's not even like you've got to think about it. It's just like, I need some more heads done.
Yeah, that's it. Heads are quite easily available from loads and loads and loads of places as well. I mean, with the kit for 12 quid, you're getting quite a lot for your cash, to be honest. You're getting the Ego cone as well. I mean, on 3.7 volts, I found these work just fine. I found they work a little bit better. I pushed up to about 4.2, but that is what it is. Using it though, having actually abused it quite a bit. The heads, I found, for me, between 5 days and a week, really, the heads will last. But I've noticed that you put it in, you prime it, you give it 5 minutes, you have a vape. That first day of vaping on the head, the flavour is excellent. As the days go on, I've noticed the flavour does dissipate a bit, and when it gets to the point where your head needs changing, you're kind of around Pro Tank head level, if I'm honest with you, in terms of flavour. Vapour's definitely better, it's definitely warmer because it's bottom coil, so it does feel more like a top coil. But that is what it is. What can you say? Love the fact that you could use Pro Tank heads with this as well if you wanted to, which would obviously make it about 8mm shorter as well, because obviously you wouldn't have to have that adaptation in there. But it's nice to be able to go, well, I prefer Pro Tank heads, so okay, you can use Pro Tank heads and you can use Spy heads and you can use EVOD heads in the Pro Tank, so it stands to reason that you could have EVOD heads in this as well. So pretty much all of the bottom coil heads out there will work in this tank at the minute, which is awesome, because worst case is if you couldn't get hold of a Spy head, because I know when they do seem to go out of stock, they seem to go out of stock everywhere, that you could buy a few Pro Tank heads to get you through until your vendor, Nige, whoever, got them back in stock, and then you were able to buy them again.
Or be the person who's got every site out of stock, so you've got plenty stocked up for the future to come.
Indeed.
5-point hit list?
We'll do a 5-point hit list. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, it looks as good as a Pro Tank, it really does. It's very well styled, and the fact it's got that extra changeable ring, it doesn't actually destroy the style, so I actually quite like the looks of this. It's about a 9 for me.
Looks for me, I quite like it. The drip tip with a sort of skirt thing, I see what they're doing there. I don't know if I'm entirely a massive fan. Let me see if there's another drip tip in it, see what happens. Oh, that's going to go. Put another drip tip in it. Yeah, I like the look of it. I think the fact obviously 510 drip tip, they all fit, which is awesome. Yeah, looks for me, I'm going to give it a 9.5. Obviously it's glass, stainless steel, does what it's supposed to do, and it looks good, so yeah, 9.
Usability, it's a replacement coil Glassomizer, but Closeup in this brand of things. You replace a coil, you wash it, you fill it up. It's simple, there's nothing really to go wrong. I mean, unless you lose that adaptation ring when you may be using an EVOD head and then you want to go back to a Spires and you've lost the ring, that may be the only problem with it, but all the big pieces are really big. Yeah, the usability is easy, it's easy to fill, it's easy to use, and it kind of works at quite a nice range of voltage, so it will work with pretty much all your devices no matter which ones you've got, because I know some Ego batteries out there are 4.2 volts native, so it will work on them as well. 9.
Usability for me, Pro Tank, awesome. The build is basically the same as a Pro Tank, bar in fact you've got the ring, you've got the plastic little bit that you have to remove if you want to use them Pro Tank heads, or add if you wanted to use the Aspires again. Usability for me, because you've got to take bits off and put bits on, just them little bits to change it, it's knocking off half a point purely because you have got to be aware to do that, and also the little plastic bit, if you was to go down and lose that, you're on your knees for a while anyway. So yeah, I'm going to give it an 8.5 for usability. Not that it's any more difficult to use if you were just going to use the standard Spy heads, because it's unscrew the metal bit from the base, put your head in, screw it back on, and then all back together. So yeah, 8.5 for me for usability.
Maintenance. Clean it. It's the same as any other Closeup. The pieces are nice and big in this. Refill it with juice and change the head. If you are swapping between heads a lot, you're probably going to be sitting around about an 8.5. But if you're just using one type of head all the time in this, I'm hoping it's be the Spy head because it is the better head, it's going to be a 10. Because if you're using the same head, you ain't got to worry about that plastic bit falling out or anything. You literally head out, head in, done job. Wash it, put juice in it.
There you go. Maintenance for me, everything comes apart as it should do quite easily. Give it all a rinse, chuck it back together, because it's glass, you've got no chance of the tank holding any of them flavours. You get spare O-rings with it if you needed to chop and change out O-rings if that was the case. So yeah, maintenance for me, it's gonna get a 10. I mean, yeah, there's a little bit more parts involved for that, but in terms of maintenance, once you've got the hang of the device, it's going to be fairly simple and easy to get around, and any other Closeup will be the same, so it's going to get a 10 for maintenance from me anyway. Flavour and vapour.
Flavour and vapour. Obviously this is going to depend on what heads you're using, but the ones we got with it are the Aspire heads, so we're going to do it with the Aspire heads. If you want to see our ProTech review, then it's going to be the same as that because it's the same coils. The Aspire heads, flavour. For a Glassomizer, out of Glassomizer range, 10. It beats them all hands down. In the broad scheme of things, still sitting about an 8.5, it's still one of the best ones out there. Amount of vapour, it's dual coil, it's going to produce more vapour, it's a 10 for Glassomizers, and again, between this and like your other higher end stuff, still sitting around about 9. It's actually really good for the amount of vapour it produces. So yeah.
Flavour and vapour for me, again, we're going to do it based on Aspire heads. Aspire heads in the Glassomizer range, 10, knocks them all out of the park. It does for flavour and flavour alone. I have had a couple of small wicking issues with them, only when using thicker juices, but you get that with every bloody head, so that's just how it is. But flavour, for a Clero Glassomizer, definitely a 10, it's the best we've tried. Vapour, more than enough. Vapour from this device in this category is better than a Pro Tank, so it's getting a 10. Because Pro Tanks are very airy and you get a load of vapour from them. So yeah, flavour vapour for me definitely 10s for what it is in the grand scheme of things as well. I've said flavour is still high. Flavour is still going to be around about a 9, 8 between them kind of marks. Is high for what it is, especially. But I mean, when you think a lot of drippers will be 10s and tanks, K-Funds, that kind of stuff will be 10s, then yeah, this would definitely suffice. If that's what you needed to do out and about a tank, it would definitely do the job and do it quite happily. So that is what it is. Overall,
I like it. I don't love it though. I mean, yes, it's the best Glassomizer out there, but I haven't resorted to using Glassomizers now for a good long while. We're talking a good 5 months now since I've really hit a Glassomizer hard. For anyone out there on Glassomizers and Glassomizers, get off those Pro Tanks, get off those EVODs. I mean, we highly rate the EVODs for starting off, but once you're moving up, get this Aspire. The Davide tank, it's with the Aspire heads, it's the next level before, if you want to have an awesome vape without having to go to that rebuilding stage, it's the closest you're going to get at the moment, and I highly recommend it.
There you go. For me, overall, I'm going to give it a 10 purely because it is, as well said, best for flavour, great on vapour, built really well, glass, options, always good stuff, and the price from Nige, just under 13 quid, it's really, really cheap. It's cheaper than a Nova would be from Totally Wicked, and that is what it is. But you know, definitely worth a punt, purely because it's easier than Kato tanks, but it would tick the same boxes for me as a Bogue Kato in an AJ would, pretty much. The throat hit I found hasn't been quite as strong off this as it is in some other devices, but that's subjective, depends on what you're used to, what juice you're using and how you feel on the day.
Most Glassomizers don't hit the throat hit.
They don't need a massive throat hit, no, unless you really up the strength, but that is what it is. So yeah, bear in mind guys that that's what you're going to get, but all in all, definitely a recommendation for a Clero of this type. If you're not a big fan of bottom coils because the vape's too cold, then this will definitely change that, because this is a warm vape. And the flavour is awesome, it really is, so definitely worth a shout. For 13 quid for an out and about tank, it's well worth the money. Like we say, we'll link Nigel's Facebook group down there and his eBay shop down there as well, depending on which one you wanted to go to, and obviously our group will be down there as well if you want to come along and join, and also you can talk to Nigel through that.
Yeah, Nigel's very active on the Facebook, yeah. So
he's always
he'll be there to give you a little helping hand, tips and tricks of what he thinks you should buy. If you're looking at 2 things basically, and he'll help you out.
Indeed. Yeah, he'll do you a better deal through Facebook, guys, as we said. Also, I mean, Nige doesn't just do this kind of stuff, he's got loads and loads of stuff on, and he's also got Trident V2s and Helios drippers and Aquas and all that kind of stuff, all the clones that are there. And I mean, kind of like Nige, he's even offered to wick all these Tridents for the guys that were new to building the other day. If they wanted it, he would wick it for them, because a lot of them say they want to try one, and I'm struggling because I'm not great at building. And I said, well, I'll build it for you and send it out to you. No extra cost whatsoever, just a kind of bloke, he's a wicked bloke. Go and check out the eBay site, go and check out the Facebook group. Yeah, we're pretty much done.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for watching, guys. I've been Mr. Proton, it's been the Worm. See you soon.